All right. That's why one of the videos she had that gold, looked like a gold dress on, and she was shaking that tambourine in front of all those men, which is totally out of order. You want to talk about what's in order and what's out of order? What about your wife shaking her ass in front of all those men with a tambourine?
That shit would have been uncomfortable to me, man.
Yeah.
That would have been uncomfortable, man. She is shimmying around your ass with a tambourine, patting it on her ass or whatever,
Yep.
Fucking complete wickedness, man. But Nate, you sound like you're desperate, man.
Yeah,
and to say that we sold out, you sound desperate, man. Anyway, I want to go to the scripture right here. Now that video that was put up, IUIC's take on the mark of the beast, and you got this guy that looked like the black Don Quixote.
Them niggas wouldn't even know who Don Quixote is.
Them guys are not.
Guys are not deep.
They're not
man.
cultured, man.
Yeah, you're only one dimensional.
All they know is BET and McDonald's
and rap.
Anyway, he had went into a scripture, right? Somebody had called Tyler, I think his name was. What Tyler? And the guy said, what do we do when the chip comes? Do we not accept it? And then the guy, Don Quixote, the black Don Quixote, says, the mark of the beast been around for a long time. He said the mark of the beast is Christianity. Now, how in the hell is it Christianity, man? Right. How you gonna put Christianity in your right hand on your forehead, man? And then why would the beast force people to accept Christianity when almost 80% of the American public are Christians, man? Right. What kind of sense does that make, man?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What kind of sense does that make? But anyway, it kind of skipped like they always do when they do videos. When people are questioning them, you notice that the video skips and it goes to like the next scene, right? But anyway, he said, here's the breakdown, Tyler. And then he went to Isaiah. He went to Isaiah 14 and you start the first verse. Read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Okay. Now he said that the strangers are talking about Edomites. Now that's what Ariah taught years ago, but we went over the scriptures, and we broke down each and every word, and we found out that word stranger. Now, when you do a word search on that word stranger, sometimes it could be actually talking about other nations.
Right.
But you gotta get the right context.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta get the right context. All right?
Like the scriptures say, rightly dividing the word of truth. Why would the scriptures say rightly dividing the word of truth? The key word there is dividing, because you have to know how to make one precept match the next precept. And you know that through the inspiration of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It tells you that we understand the scriptures through the inspiration of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Now I know for a fact when you go to that word stranger there in Isaiah 14 and 1, I've did lessons on this, you'll see the Hebrew word Gah. Now there's only one that I know of that where they put the word that should be there, that's in Isaiah 56. The word that should be there is Gah, but they have the other word, which is Nakaya, which Nakaya is the actual Hebrew word for the actual strangers. That's those of the other nations. But the Hebrew word Gah is for the Israelite stranger, which comes from the word Gershom, which Moses named his son Gershom, which in
apply to other nations too. But most of the scriptures apply to Israel. It
Israelite
means
foreigners.
Israel. It's like a general term.
Right.
All right. That's just like the word tribe. When you come across the word tribe, you know you have tribes of Israel, but you have tribes in other nations too. All right.
Yeah, that name Gah, like I said, when you do a text search on it, it always applies for an Israelite foreigner, because the word itself, Gah, comes from Gershom, which is the name that Moses named his son, Gershom. Because Moses was a foreigner in a foreign land, a stranger, when he had his son Gershom. All right? So he named the son Gershom. That's Norman Omen right there. What is Norman Omen? Name prediction. We taught you guys about that. Through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we introduced you to that term Norman Omen, which means name prediction. God is another example of Norman Omen, which is name prediction. All right? So in most cases, the word God means Israelite foreigner. So based upon that alone, and we could go a lot deeper, you go back to Isaiah 14:1, when you see the Hebrew word there, stranger, or strangers in this case, when you look up in the Hebrew, using the blue letter, you will see the word, and I'm looking at it right now, you'll see the word God, which is Israelite foreigner. And
but
you
check this out, Ak.
Yeah.
Now, when you look up that word, God, and then Nate, you got some nerve talking about you going to the Hebrew and the Greek. You don't go into the Hebrew and the Greek. You might touch the surface of the Hebrew and the Greek, but you don't go into the Hebrew and the Greek like we go into the Hebrew and the Greek, man. You know? The word God, right? And then you have the etymology, which is H1481, but I'm not going to go into that quite yet. The word means sojourner, a temporary inhabitant, a newcomer lacking inherited rights. Keep in mind that word, that term, or those two words, inherited rights. In order for you to inherit something, you have to be a part of that nation, right? Keep that in mind.
That's right.
It says, of foreigners in Israel through conceded rights. You're going to find out that the foreigners in Israel are Israelites as well. Because I'm going to show you something. Go ahead and speak.
Yeah, like I'm looking at Isaiah. I'm going to give you an example. I'm looking at Isaiah 56:6. It says, also the sons of the stranger that joined themselves to the Lord to serve him, to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and taketh hold of my covenant. Now, an unlearned person will think that's talking about a member of another nation. And to show you that these, because that was the Masoretes, the Masoretes, which they came on the scene around what, the 10th century? 10th,
Probably about
7th century, somewhere around there. They started changing the Hebrew, the Masoretes. Now, here's an example. They put the word, which were Edomites, they put the word Nakar there, the sons of the stranger. Nakar is not supposed to be there. The word that's supposed to be there is Gar. But they put that word there, Nakar. And I found a website that said that. It was one of those Christian websites. And if I find a website, I'm going to put it in post-production. Because like I said, I've did lessons on this. All right? So this is one of the examples where they distorted, the Masoretes distorted the Hebrew. Where they put the word Nakar there.
Yeah, but if you deep and you search, do a deep search, which we supposed to do.
Yep.
You're supposed to search this truth.
That's right.
You'll find out that word stranger is not always talking about other nations, but it's talking about Israel. In the case of Isaiah the 14th chapter, it's talking about Israelites.
Exactly.
So the black Don Quixote went off, but he went off because he's a zombie under Nate.
Well, he looks like a zombie.
Deep about these guys, all right? Now, I'm going to read the scripture right here. It says, now remember I read about, let me go back up to it so I don't forget. Okay, it says sojourner, all right? Someone that's traveling through. A temporary inhabitant, which is a sojourner. A newcomer lacking inherited rights. Let me read that again. A newcomer, an Israelite, lacking inherited rights. Keep that in mind. Now, Lord, let me go to this, back to this. This is Leviticus 19:10. Now, listen to this good. It says, and thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. There's another law I can go to it where it says that you're supposed to leave a 10th part of your increase. You're supposed to leave that there.
For the poor.
For the poor.
Gone.
But now this is what Leviticus 19:10 says. It says, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor, just like you said, and stranger. So you mean if there's an Edomite, well, leave this Edomites over there. Leave that there so them Edomites can get it, or them Hamites can get it. It's talking about sojourners, man.
That's right.
In Israel, because you had Israel that was living outside of Israel, man, that was coming in through Israel.